Is I put together a class based on practical street reality of how to make a film, step by step by step. What's a step? When you write a bank check. That's a step. Everything up until then is theory, and you're absolutely right. But sooner or later, you got to start writing checks. The first segment is independent filmmaking. So I'm going to spend about the next 55 minutes so you get the basic concepts about how this system called Hollywood really works, and that it's a business, and stop thinking of it as an art form. At the end of the shot, I go, good for sound, good for sound, good for camera, good for camera. Actor, how'd you feel? Another take. He wants to act. He wants to act, and he can make it better. Hey, producer, budget, do you have the money? Do you have the time? Do you have the schedule? You just went over budget, you just went over schedule. Art got in the way. Now, what are you going to do when you tell the actor no? How are you going to direct? I got to teach you how to handle this situation. It's going to start happening time and time again, starting on the second day of the shoot when the actors are all frustrated with you. How to direct your first feature film when you have a relatively incompetent crew. You really don't know what you're doing, they don't know what they're doing, and you have actors that hate you after the second day of the shoot. Now, let me give you a class on how to direct. Anybody ever hear it called show art, film art? It's the film business, show business. Making a film and selling a film is business. It's not art. Don't talk to me like art. By the way, I do agree. There's this side of my brain that says it's art, which you've been hearing all the time. I agree. And I agree, filmmaking is art. But now let me be the first teacher that teaches you the business of making the art, and then the business of selling the art. But I can't teach art. Start thinking about filmmaking as a business. Most of you first-timers are probably trying to figure out how to make a deal to make a film. And you keep wanting to take classes about financing and deal making on how does Hollywood work to finance you to make a feature film. I'll give you the information. I bet you there are one or two of you in this room that are either wealthy enough or can get a group of investors together and sell 20 units at $10,000 each and raise $200,000. Then what you'll probably do is what we call a $1 million feature, although we make them for $200,000, and it's a 35 millimeter film, 3-week shoot, working with one guild SAG on a limited exhibition agreement on a 6-to-1 shooting ratio. By the way, I'll teach you all those nuts and bolts in the other lessons coming up. Bottom line, here's what every one of you want to do. You all want to be rich and famous, don't you? So here are the 7 things it takes to be rich and famous. Number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Number 7, least important thing it takes to be rich and famous in the film industry. Least important of the important traits. Talent. Let's cut right to the chase right now. Anybody in the room with no talent? Who has no talent? Whose shoes are on the wrong feet and they're not even tied? Who has no talent? So you get this? I'm not going to spend. You want me to spend an hour, 5 hours giving you baby talk, rah-rah, about talent, heart, passion, all that rah-rah stuff that they do at film schools for 18-year-olds who can't make their beds? I didn't say talent is important. It's important. By far, the most important thing is number 1. But whichever way you go, here are the basic steps in post-production. Whether you shoot on film and post on film, or you shoot on film and transfer it or digitize it and post electronically, here are your basic steps. I've never had a crew person or an actor ever quit on any shoot that I was writing checks. I've never bounced a check. I feed the crew well, and we do 14 to 20-hour days every day. But I feed everybody well, and I never bounced a check, and I don't go over budget, and neither are you. This shoot, lesson number 6. You now know how to direct. Come back in a little while. We'll get lesson number 6. You know how to handle a crew, get a crew, stay organized, and get it shot and in the can, on budget, on schedule. So now you know what you're not going to do. Now let me tell you what you're going to do. But whichever way you go, here are the basic steps in post-production. Whether you shoot on film and post on film, or you shoot on film and transfer it or digitize it and post electronically, here are your basic steps.